Agniye Swaha. Agniye Idam Namama Prajapatiye Swaha. Prajapatiye Idam Namama. Okay, so now we're going to get started. I'm just going to start with the Viruti mantra in this other pyramid, which is a mantra that we say, that we chant throughout the day, and we chant this when we start our full moon mantra. And it's just it sets a good tone of intention if you're having a meeting or doing something important. So this is the Viruti mantra. Swaha, Agniye, Idamama, Swaha, Vayave, Idamama, Swaha, Surya, Idamama, Bhurva, Swaha, Ajapatiye, Idamama. Ooh, that's hot over there. Okay. So I'm gonna give some people some time to come on because it's just a little bit after 7. And if you're just joining me this evening and you're not familiar, I am the Agnihotra Lady. This is the Agnihotra Ladies, the Cosmic Clinic, where we talk about the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda for the modern world. And as you know, there are a lot of different things going on in the world today, and we can always use some wisdom on how to live peacefully, blissfully, full of love and joy. So I'm going to share the Zoom link, which I don't want to forget to do that, so let me post that now. This is a Q&A, so feel free if you don't want to post, if you don't want to join through audio or video, you don't have to show your face, then you're more than welcome to post something on Facebook. And I'll go in there and take a look at Facebook as well. So I'm now posting, oops. Okay. And I appreciate you for joining me this weekend. I'm usually here every Saturday at 7. I might adjust the time as Agnihotra comes in earlier. And I like to always try to do Agnihotra. You have to, it's not Agnihotra unless you do it at exactly at sunrise or at sunset. That's what makes it Agnihotra. And then the other fires that we do, and they're in conjunction with the Cosmic Clinic times. They're at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. We do sunrise. Well, actually 3 o'clock a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Then there's sunrise. Then it's 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m., and then again it's sunset. Those are the Cosmic Clinic hours. And if you're at work or you can't get to your pyramid, you can just sit still. And, you know, the reason why we've named the show Cosmic Clinic, because these are the times in which you receive knowledge from the universe, from the creator. These are times when you get a boost to your immune system from the sun at sunrise and from the cosmos. So there's a lot of things that happen at those times, which is why if you just sit still, meditate. If you can't do that, if you're at work or something, just sit still. Just be quiet for just a minute. And that's a way to calm yourself and ease some of the stress off of your mind. And there's so much stress going on. Tree Charles and I were talking about that, you know, there's so much stress going on. All the headlines, people talking about what's happening with their jobs, with the children going to school, people losing their homes, and, you know, all these headlines. There's a lot of chaos, and there's so many things that are happening to the world because of pollution and climate change, that sometimes people feel like there's no hope. But there's always hope. There are tools that have been put in place that we can use to combat these situations. So I said before, the topics for the day was to don't be a prisoner to someone else's expectations. And then we're also going to talk about the role of space shrinkage and planetary stress and human stress. And so, and these things do go hand in hand. I know you're saying, gosh, these are two opposite topics, but they actually go hand in hand. And so I talk about various things during the show, just things that people go through everyday living. And I'm always talking about this powerful tool of Agnihotra as a way to restore balance in yourself and the planet, because planetary stress most definitely is connected to human stress, animal stress. The whole planet is under stress. And just a quick definition of Agnihotra for those that are not familiar. And I know I have people viewing from all over the United States and other parts of the world, but Agnihotra is an Ayurvedic practice that is done in a copper pyramid. We use cow dung, dried cow dung. We use ghee, which is nothing but unsalted butter that's been boiled down for about 20 minutes. And we use brown rice. These are the basic ingredients that we put in the copper pyramid. And then at sunrise, there's a flood of energies, electricities, and ethers that flood the planet. And so this is why we do this at sunrise. And so we chant the Sanskrit mantra at sunrise, and then a beautiful music is formed that is healing to the planet and the universe. And then nutrients are put back into the atmosphere, and it goes 8 miles up in a 2-mile radius. And there have been many scientific studies that show that Agnihotra reverses pollution. So in areas where people are unable to grow food, and areas where there's high crime, doing Agnihotra brings about tranquility for the entire neighborhood, for the people who realize you're doing it or not. So this is something that is great for the planet. It cleanses the air, it cleanses the water, it restores soil. So when you use the ash, which this is what it looks like, let me take some out. This is the resultant. Oops, what happened? The resultant ash after the fire dies down, which my fire just died down there, Agnihotra is complete. This is what you're left with. And this, you can actually put it in a gallon jug of tap water. It cleanses the water. Set it out in the sun, cleanses the water. I use it in my garden here. We use it in our garden in Shanti Institute. It's great for farming. It remediates soil, increases the nutrients in the soil. It's great. The insects, the worms love it. And you know, you don't have soil or anything grown if you don't have good, healthy worms. And it's a way to restore the balance, and the animals love it. You will see animals that react joyfully when you're doing Agnihotra on a regular basis. So you do this continually, and it eases the stress off your mind. It eases your physical stress. A lot of people use this to heal. You can use the ash for healing. You can use it internally on your skin. You can sit and do a homifier during the day. When we do a full moon mantra, you can sit for an hour and sit in just in the Homa atmosphere. It's very healing. People use it for heart problems. Vets that have PTSD, they say that they throw away their pills. They don't have to take the psychotropic drugs. And you know, I've had some people bring their autistic children over, and they're much more calm. So Agnihotra is a way in which you truly are healing yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. So this is not about a religion, okay? You can add this to whatever you're doing. This is not about a religion. It's about you being the best that you can be, no matter what you practice, or even if you don't have any faith at all, okay? It's just a gift from mankind, from the Vedas. Okay, so getting into the topic. So I'm going to first talk about, and I kind of started off talking about the stress that everyone is in this country. I live in the United States and other parts of the world. And everyone is stressed out. Everyone down to even the babies. Babies are born with stress now. And that's a shame when children are being born into all this chaos that the adults have created. But so let's now first talk about the space shrinkage that I talked about. So space shrinkage it comes about because our ozone has been destroyed. And even though they say they built some areas up, we don't have an ozone problem, we still have an ozone problem. And when that happens, it affects the North Pole and the South Pole. And really what is happening, and the scientists, they won't say it like this, but you have the atmosphere that is being crushed because the ozone, which is that protective layer, is not able to do its job effectively. So when you have atmosphere that is crushing, okay, that's putting stress on all of the planet, the plants, the animals, and of course we the humans, we live here. And what also happens, because we're not just Earth here by itself, it affects the electromagnetic field that's around the entire Earth, and it reverberates into outer space and causes space shrinkage. Yes. Okay, in outer space. So now you have stress not only for the planet, for the animals, for the plants, for ourselves. Now it's reverberated into outer space, and it's affecting other planets, other systems, galaxies, all that stuff. So we've created a problem that is extended beyond just ourselves, because mankind, we've been selfish, thinking that we can do all these things to live better, but in effect we're making things worse for all of the planetary life. So so this space shrinkage, and you would, like I said before, you hear scientists discuss this in many different ways, but this, in the Vedas, this is how they explain it in a very simple way about what happens when you disrupt the natural flow of the atmosphere, when you mess with the ozone. I mean, when you mess with one, you mess with everything. And so there's a scientific principle called man, microbes, flora, fauna. When you mess with one, then it reverberates and mess up with the entire system. So remember, in the ecological system, it's a closed system. So if you mess with something with the ozone, you mess with something with the water, it's just not going to just stay a problem with the water system or with the atmosphere. It affects everything. So in the case of the stress that we humans are hearing about daily on the TV, and we're experiencing this in our homes and our jobs, you have all this stress because the atmosphere is being squeezed. And what do you think that's doing to the air? The air is already polluted. Now it's been squeezed because of space shrinkage. This is affecting how we think, how we interact with other people, how we raise our children, how we are at home with our loved ones, and how we interact with our co-workers. It affects every facet of our life. You can't run from it. So when we are talking about climate change and pollution, it's imperative that we put Mother Earth first, because when we talk about these things that we have to do for society and the community, the very first community, the only community that we have to consider, because we wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Mother Earth. We have to take care of her, okay? And so now we have all this stress. So the space shrinkage is causing people to act erratically, be violent. You have people that are depressed. And so let's talk about that. So many of the headlines we hear about people are depressed because they're quarantined, they don't have jobs. And then what's even more disturbing, and should be disturbing to all of us, is that now they're talking about children, kids. The suicide rate in kids is up by 50%, 56%. Let me look at the statistics. I wrote it down because I saw a recent documentary. A lot of people was passing it around on Facebook. It was called Social Dilemma, I think, and it was talking about the role of social media in people having these problems, and they kind of touched upon children having these high suicide rates. I don't think social media is the only cause of that. I just think it's a collection of all these things, and part of that is because there are a lot of expectations set on kids. But let me get statistic first. So suicide rates for young people has climbed by 56% between 2007 and 2017. This is a CDC study, and you can look this up. So suicides between the ages of 10, you hear me, age 10 and 24, is the second leading cause of death. Let me repeat that again. Suicides from ages 10 to 24 is the second leading cause of death for young people. And so that is, these are young people. And a 10-year-old, back when I was growing up, and I'm not that old, I don't recall knowing anyone or hearing of someone in, when I was in the 5th or the 6th grade that had committed suicide or tried to commit suicide. But now, and you've seen the headlines where there's more bullying, there are more kids that are in despair and they commit suicide. And I say to you, it is because of the expectations that are put upon children, that adults put upon children. And because they're innocent, what stress should they have? They should be enjoying their childhood, learning to interact on the planet and making friends and growing into wonderful adults walking divinely upon the planet. What should they be stressed about? So there's expectations that begin when you were born, so babies, here, when is the baby going to crawl? Then later on, when the child gets older, when is the child going to walk? They go to pre-K. When are you going to write your first alphabets? Oh, you didn't start writing or reading or talking like the other kids. So now there's an expectation. If you don't meet this expectation, so the child is stressed out, whether you're verbalizing it in what you think is a stressful way, that's stress upon the child. Then schooling in a traditional school system, that's stressful too for a child, because then now you have to teach for a child to pass a test. And my mother was an educator for about 45 years, and she complained about that when they switched from the model of just teaching and tweaking things for each student to, oh, now you have to teach so children can pass this test. And I remember she would bump heads with the administrators at her school, because she said, I can't teach then. That's not really teaching for a test, because that test is not real life, is what she kept saying. And that stressed her out. So now you have children that have to take a test. If they're involved in all of these trying to get scholarships and governor's honors programs and all these things where they have to perform, that stress. And then you hear about young college students, and I've seen quite a bit of this, where the parents, after the young 20-year-old, 22-year-old committed suicide, they find a note, and the children are saying, the young people are saying they could not do all these things. They had gotten these scholarships and they had to keep performing up to the expectation of being the valedictorian or being top of the class, and what job are they going to get. So once again, we're talking about being a prisoner of someone else's expectations. Would you rather have your child happy and alive than unhappy and dead because they committed suicide because they cannot perform all these things? And so in the Ayurvedic wisdom, it says that as a human being, B-E-I-N-G, you do not have to perform because you're a human being. You're here to walk upon the earth, find out about yourself and how you fit into this whole world. What is your purpose on the planet? What were you born to do? What is your purpose? What do you want to do with your life? How will you live your life with purpose? It's not what your parents want you to do, even your spouse or a job, but what is your purpose? What is your mission in life? And it can't be about making money or a certain car. you know, I got to have a certain house or I'm happy. These are expectations that bring about a lot of stress. Okay? It brings about a lot of stress and you're not fulfilled. And then of course you have a lot of adults that are unhappy and they're committing suicide now too, because they've lost their jobs and businesses and whatever, and that's how they define themselves. So once again, being a prisoner of expectations, someone else's expectations, it brings about a lot of stress. So you have to understand, when we're talking about the cosmic clinic and sitting still and doing Agnihotra, this is a way to sit still and bring about a balance within yourself, to take away that stress from your mind, to rest yourself. We're so busy trying to function within this society, and we're so busy. And a lot of the things that, especially where the planet's concerned, we've made all this technology so things move quicker and faster, and it's not necessarily the best thing for the planet. And moving fast, you're missing these steps, these things, when you're able to just sit and listen. And of course, we live in these concrete jungles. We might not necessarily have time to listen to nature, eat lunch, and hear the birds having their sweet songs all around you. And these are things that are important. These are things that we've lost being humans in these big cities. And so we have to get back to taking care of Mother Nature. So when you perform Agnihotra, we're talking about dealing with subtle things within you as a human, as well as obvious things, as well as the things that are happening with the planet. Since the planet is in distress, there's more stress happening with us too. So don't think it's an accident that we have all these fires and floods and rainfall, and there's a lot of things that are happening. Are we not too chaotic as humans? And we have to get back to taking care of the mother if we want to have planetary calmness. So too, we will have that calmness once we take care of the planet. So I wanted to make sure that I touched on several points. I did make some bullet points. So once again, who do you want to become? Who does the Creator, who does God want you to become? Okay, that is your primary goal, your only function in this world, outside of taking care of the planet. Who are you? Who really are you? If you strip away your job title, the house, expensive things, your college degree, who are you on the inside? Who do you want to be? You only have to please yourself for the Creator. Okay? And so this is what we're saying. Don't be a prisoner to someone's expectations, because that is a very major cause of stress. And so when we're talking about Agnihotra, the performance of that helps you to simplify your life, put things in perspective, okay? And you'll be making different decisions because you're in this purified atmosphere. People often say when they visit Shanti Atlanta in Conyers, or the main campus, Shanti Villa Institute in Tuskegee, oh gosh, the atmosphere feels so good over here. It feels different. You too can create this atmosphere. When you do Agnihotra with your copper pyramid, you can create this oasis. You too can have your oasis. And like I said, it goes 8 miles up, 2-mile radius. So this is something that each and every one of us can do to bring about getting rid of the stress. Okay? Okay, and so there's a stress of having to perform all the time. You know, we're a performance-based society. And that is a shame, because you shouldn't have to perform to be a human. You're okay just to exist, no matter what occupation and all these things that we have deemed are important. They're not really important in the biggest scheme of things. It really is not. It really is not. And then societal expectations have led to all of the pollution and climate change issues that we have. And like I said, there's normal climate change, and of course there are things that have been exacerbated because of what the humans have done. We've created technology so we can do things faster and better, but to the detriment of the earth. I think someone posted today about Elon Musk. They were saying some of these launched satellites are not working. So now they're saying about 3% of their floating up there not working. So there's a lot of debris up there. There was already space debris up in space, just so that you know. And if you look this up, we have a space fence. This is true. This is not science fiction. There's a space fence that they've built around the planet because we already had junk up there already. And let's not be naive and think that all these things is just not him. He's just been in the news now for launching all these within. He started now. He's going to do even more over the course of the next 12 months. But that affects our atmosphere. It affects the area in outer space, and of course that leads to what we were talking about with space shrinkage. So, you know, this technology, we're saying it's great, but see, technology cannot destroy how we live day to day. That is, you know, that's not really good technology. Okay, it's not a good use of having our creative ways and our talents to destroy ways for us to be productive, all of us. Okay, so we have to think about that. You know, all these things that we're building, because we expect to have things fast, quick, and better. Okay, so societal, or the world's expectations, okay, of perfection, of having the best country, the best product, the whatever it is, that has caused the pollution and the problems that we have. We have caused that. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I touched upon those things, and I'm about to wrap this up. Let me see if anybody has any questions. And let's see here. So before I leave, I want to thank you all again for joining me for this episode of the Agnihotra Lady, the Cosmic Clinic. And I just want to show you some of the things that we have for sale at ShantiVillaInstitute.com. That's our main website. And this is the Agnihotra kit that Sri Charles designed. And I just want to show you what we have inside here. It comes with a booklet, so that way you can teach Agnihotra immediately, because you have a booklet that tells you a lot of good things about Agnihotra. And then you have the copper pyramid, the inside of it. You have copper tongs. Here's the stand. Everything's copper, by the way. Here's the tray. It's a copper cup, spoon, and then we have 2 or 3 of these bottles that we include. So this is what's included in the Agnihotra kit. Like I said, ShantiVillainInstitute.com. I'm also going to show you a couple more things. We have, and I just had someone got this last week, the secret science of mudras, and I've done some demonstrations on some mudras that are healing, and written by Sri Charles. And once again, you get this on ShantiVillainInstitute.com. And so this is like part of, I would say, your first aid kit along with your Agnihotra. I said your Agnihotra kit, you can make your medicine, okay? Because your ash is your medicine. You can use it for farming, so that's like your medicine kit, okay? Your medicine maker, your medicine kit, and you can make ash for your garden, so that's your homifier kit, your garden kit, I say. Plus it's your purification kit. People that report having breathing problems, they say they don't have breathing problems, they do Agnihotra. And a lot of people come over here and say, wow, I have asthma, I'm not having symptoms when I come over. So mudras are very healing. They're ways in which you hold your hands. They're mudras for heart attacks and diabetes and anxiety and all sorts of things. So and I did a couple of demonstrations with the last couple of 2 episodes. We did one a prana paramudra, and then we did one what was that? We did one, was it the heart mudra? I know we did a couple of them. So anyway, this is an excellent book for part of your first aid kit. And then our signature Shanti's Ayurvedic Golden Nectar plant food, formulated by Sri Charles. And this is concentrated. This makes about 3 gallons. I know some people say they use it to make 5 gallons. So concentrated stuff made right at Shanti Villain Institute in Tuskegee, Alabama. Okay. So, and this is our signature plant food. It increases plant yield, cuts down on harvest time, and like I told you, the worms love it. Okay, so those are the things that we have available at ShantiVillainInstitute.com. As always, we appreciate you watching, and we appreciate all the support that you've given us, and I look forward to talking with everyone continually. So if you had watched this replay, feel free to share it, and you can always email or post or direct message a question to me. My website for Shanti Atlanta is healthpluslifestyle.com, and then the number is 404-487-8156. I am seeing very small groups because my place is smaller here in Conyers, by appointment only. And it's always, so just, you'll know, Agnihotra and homotherapy sessions are always free. Those are a gift to mankind. We do not charge for that. And right now, Shanti Institute, we're not open to the public yet. We're waiting to see what happens with the pandemic, so we're not open to the public out there. But like I said, I work by appointment here here at Shanti Atlanta, and you can go to Shanti Atlanta Facebook page, and like I said, our main website is ShantiVillainInstitute.com, and the Shanti Villain Institute is located in Tuskegee, Alabama, founded by Sri Charles, and he runs the main campus there, and it's right up the street from historic Tuskegee University. So anyway, I appreciate everyone for joining this evening, and I look forward to any questions you might have, and I'll see you on the next Agnihotra Lady, the Cosmic Clinic. Until the next time, be blessed.